For those that are joining us right now, guys, we are at ValleyMotoSport in West Kelowna, and we are doing the assembly of a 2020 KTM 300 XC. The XC is the cross-country race version, tuned a little differently and a little more compression than the XCW. And of course, it has a semi-close transmission when the XCW has the first and second gear with a big drop down. So then there's a gap between second and third. And that was my main concern about wanting the XC, is I want a semi-close ratio transmission. I'm used to the motocross 4-speed, which is a close ratio transmission, right? On the RMZ, so I didn't want a big gap between second and third. I would rather just use sprockets to obtain the low first gear. And you know, I'm not really too worried about a tall 6th gear because I'm not going to be ripping on the street that I know of yet. Alright, here we are at ValleyMotoSport. There's Jody hanging out, hiding behind the counter. You know what day it is today?
Build day.
That's right. Well, today is unboxing. We're unboxing something today, guys. We're at ValleyMotoSport here in West Kelowna. And yeah, let's take a little walk around before we head to the shop. Ooh, what could we have going on today? Hey, 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 you must be Aubrey. Good, good. My name is Marcel Irnie. Do you know why I'm here? Yeah. Sweet. A 150, and then here is the new moto. Out of the rain, finally. Good, anyways, Marcel.
Aubrey, nice to meet you.
So you've been working at ValleyMotoSport for a while?
Yeah, 6 months now.
Oh, okay. Where are you from?
South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah.
Nice.
We had KTM 13 years there, so.
I have some friends from Cape Town out there, and I met them in Thailand. They love Cape Town, but they say it's a little sketchy sometimes, and he likes to have somebody help him drive around. So what is it, guys? It's a skinny box. So did Barry or anybody tell you who I am?
Yeah, he did a little bit, yes.
Oh, what did he say?
You're a good guy.
I'm a good guy, yeah. Let's grab this one here. Perfect. Wow, these things, they just make them short in the box. There it is, guys. I think it's pretty obvious. It's definitely a dirt bike. Look at this. 300 XC TPI. Throttle port injection. Oh yeah. They come with some Dunlops. I think they're the 81s. Nothing special, but they will work. I don't have to remove them right away. Oh yeah. It looks like a dirt tracker right now. It's so low. An hour meter on the top, and we're right on 0-0. So they don't even put like 0.1 at the factory.
Briefly run it, but not even.
Yeah, they're just put it on a little dyno
fire,
probably.
make sure it fires up and...
A lot of people are probably wondering why I'm buying a dirt bike and not a new race bike for superbike racing, right? That's why I wanted to do this video. People were like, what the hell?
Not your norm?
No, well, you know, I could always be getting new superbikes, right? That's where the kickstart would have been.
1, 2, 3.
So I'll be doing a bike build with this thing next week. First mods for the bike after I do my initial ride and impression, right? I want to ride it completely stock.
Yeah.
And you know, get a feel for it. And then of course I got the skid plate coming that I'll install with the whole pipe guard. I got handlebar risers as well. I've been riding an 06 RMZ 450.
Yeah.
And you know, it's 4-speed, kickstart.
Yeah.
Nothing too good for like the trail.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely a motocross bike, but I got all the guards on it, but
I should have some fun on this.
this thing's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research on these bikes, and we need more information out on YouTube, so it's a good opportunity to make a review video, right? Everybody's curious about the TPI and how well they work compared to the carb. So the XC model comes with the exact WP suspension. Of course, WP is KTM's own brand, if you guys didn't know. And they have the air fork. It used to be, now it's the same thing, it's called the XACT. But it's pretty much the same fork as last year, the ACT air fork. Just a little different valving, I believe, from my research. Oh yeah, and then of course I'll be wanting to get a rear rotor guard. And then of course the skid plate will go on there, and the skid plate to connect back. And here's the elusive power valve. KTM does not recommend to adjust. Oh, that's kind of neat. They put this plastic just to keep it scratch free. Oh wow, they really do have to assemble a few things on these.
Yeah, a couple of things.
More than the street bike anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, handlebar guard, top triples, and the front fender and the front wheel. Chain guide plastic. So that's why you can replace those as things could break off. And some people break these tabs off as well, and that's why you get like a slider that goes over the tabs. And some people put protectors over the TPS here because it's just a plastic guard for the sensor. So you could put like aluminum one there. Beautiful. It's gonna be hard to take this thing on rocky terrain now. It's so nice. And this is where you fill the two-stroke oil.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got an oil light as well. Gives you a warning when it's low.
Do you know how many, or like how long before the warning comes on before you are?
Not too sure, but you gotta quite a bit.
Yeah, because what I've seen is people say you can do like 7 tanks off of a full fill.
Full,
Yeah.
You got enough.
Because essentially they're going to run nice and lean when you're off throttle, and then they richen up as you get on throttle is the theory. So much better fuel mileage, much better oil mileage. I'll probably be using the AMSOIL Dominator or AMSOIL Interceptor in there. Have you found that KTM puts a lot of grease on their linkage bearings and stuff? Or do some racers just redo it right off the bat?
They normally redo it after a couple of hours.
Some of my race bikes, I'll take the linkage apart, brand new, and there's like no grease in there.
Cow's like that as well. What I found out, it's to do with they can't ship. They can only ship so much chemical across overseas. Right?
There's a reasoning for it, you mean? Oh, interesting.
I thought it was just because it was a money saver, but it's not. It's to do with shipping concerns. They don't want grease and fuel and oil and stuff in these bikes when they're going across seas, right?
The bike comes with a Dunlop Geomax AT81. I don't have any personal experience with these tires, but we'll give them a shot. Eventually we'll put a gummy rear on there, and I've always liked the Starcross from Michelin front. The Starcross mediums worked really well on my RMZ, so we'll take a look at future tires. A lot of people like those 525s and the 505s. Gummy tires as well. Have you seen many customers that had any leaks out of here? I've read a few people had leaks.
There, and then a couple in the tanks, but that's been also taken care of.
Oh, for the 2020 you mean?
Yeah,
that's more like previous gen?
The first ones had a lot of oil leaks and stuff, but the new one...
Yeah, so this is actually the 3rd gen of the motorcycle. 18, 19, and 20, but 18 was technically in Europe mostly. Do you ride a motorcycle as well? Dirt bike?
Not dirt bike, no.
Street bike?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I just got an old Suzuki Bandit.
Oh, the Bandit, yeah.
Yeah, does the job. Working back.
So they have marks just going with the middle ones?
You got your little dots, you can line them up wherever you want to.
Yeah, some start in the middle seems good.
The middle is the best, and then you can take it from there.
1 1/8 bar. It's nice, they already have some machined for your chain adjusters. Some people put swing arm protectors on, little plastic covers, so for resale value. I guess we'll see how it goes. Note, there is for the tube and for the rim lock, it looks like. It sticks out a bunch. They put a piece of paint on it to mark it. And we're going to have a lithium battery in there, and they leave the negative just hanging out there. Oh, look at that. That's a nice little torque wrench. What's the torque on those things?
17.
70?
17 Newton.
Oh, 17 Newton meters.
0.7, yeah.
I don't know what inch pounds that would be, but...
Yeah, KTM works on Newton meters.
Gotcha. So what brought you to Canada?
Got 2 kids and maybe a better future. You know, schools are good here.
Oh, okay. So you brought the whole family over?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, a lot of people with these TPIs, they recommend getting like a fan kit as well, just because they do run a little hotter apparently.
Yeah, because they don't know where to lead it.
Yeah. Unless I wanted to get a different map and refuel it, you know, like with the different options. So, but you could run it a little richer, make it run a little cooler.
It's got your running map here. So first service, and then we can just update the mapping for you after the running service.
What's the typical service on the first oil change that people do?
Typical 1 hour.
Yeah.
Just do the oil, yeah.
Pretty much right away, just go break it in.
Break it in. That's
And then I would drop the oil.
drop the oil, put some fresh one in, and that's it. And then we do the mapping after that as well.
Gotcha,
Valve
gotcha.
valve, no adjustment on the valve valve. Don't adjust that. They don't recommend that.
I've seen videos of people adjusting it, some with good benefits actually. One guy adjusted it 1.5 out, and he says that there was like a little bit of a low spot in the mid-range before like the power valve hits on, that the bike kind of like lulled down, and he said removing it 1.5 fixed that completely. Of course, then there's the ECU companies, you know, Get ECU and stuff like that, that you can tune them with your phone essentially to get rid of that lull. So. And then was a guy on Dirtbike channel said he's had like 8 of these, and he says they all ran great except for one for some reason. Okay. You know, so sometimes you just get one bike running better than the other. I know with my BMW S1000 race bikes, I bought 2 the same day. Okay. One had 4 more horsepower than the other. There's always a variance. So hopefully we get a good KTM here. And we'll see on my first impression test, guys, if we have any, if the power band is perfectly smooth or if there's a little bit of a dull mid-range. I'm hoping for the best. But there's always solutions, it just costs more money. Speaking of radiators, guys, the stock radiator covers, essentially the fins, what are those called again? The louvers, right? Yeah, they actually do have some bracing. If you take a look, they are a lot thicker than old designs. Like the original KTMs are just, you know, just a couple little louvers, but this actually does add some bracing. And a lot of aftermarket companies will just put a billet, they replace the louver with a billet, essentially one to give you side impact crush protection. I'm gonna try something where it's more than just the front. I want more of a sturdy design going left to right, so. We're gonna try the Emperor Racing ones first and see if we like them, along with the Emperor Racing pipe guard, skid guard. So in the PDI, essentially you just check everything, go through your torque book.
Make sure everything is tight, yes.
Nice, that's good to hear. You know, everything was really tight on that Ninja 400 from Thailand. They don't use Loctite, I realized, on most of the parts. They just torque the shit out of it. When I went to take the front wheel off, it was stuck. Like my friend and I had to use a huge torque bar to break it. You've probably seen this a couple times, huh? When customer brings in to change the wheel.
Yeah, oil filters and stuff, and just the way the fasteners are.
So Neven, what's going on?
Oh, we got a problem getting this front wheel off, man. It's we got this leverage bar on it and this wrench on the other side.
I know, look at this. Okay, this wheel is so fucking tight from Thailand. I don't know what the hell's going on, but like, check it out.
Yeah, I had no clue these Chinamen were that strong.
No, Thailand, dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thailand.
It's not even moving.
Oh, wait, I got it.
Oh, my God. Oh, dude, that like put a dent in my hand.
Yeah, so if you guys are buying a Ninja 400 and you're a racer, I recommend taking it all apart and putting it back together with blue Loctite. Because if you crash, shit doesn't move. Yeah. It bends. Hello, everybody. Rocking the Ninja 400 here and got myself in a little bit of a predicament. So let's see if I can turn around, huh, Chantel?
Let's go.
See what happens.
This is a street bike up the hill. This is kind of sketchy. Oh dear.
up, huh?
It might be your best bet.
For those that are joining us right now, guys, we are at ValleyMotoSport in West Kelowna, and we are doing the assembly of a 2020 KTM 300 XC. The XC is the cross-country race version. Essentially, apparently the motor's, you know, just a little tuned a little differently and a little more compression than the XCW. And of course, it has a semi-close transmission when the XCW has the first and second gear with a big drop down. So then there's a gap between second and third. And that was my main concern about wanting the XC, is I want a semi-close ratio transmission. I'm used to the motocross 4-speed, which is a close ratio transmission, right? On the RMZ, so I didn't want a big gap between second and third. I would rather just use sprockets to obtain the low first gear. And you know, I'm not really too worried about a tall 6th gear because I'm not going to be ripping on the street. Not that I know of yet. I've seen on Thumper Talk forum that some people are like, my pipe is bent. They're like, from the factory it's bent. You see that, guys? You see how they like caved it in? Well, they did it obviously to give more clearance of the radiator. I remember I saw that at the show too, and I was like, what the? When I was at the motorcycle show last year in Vancouver.
2019 KTM 300.
Yeah, the 300XC. Interesting, the pipe. They had to make room for the radiator. The pipe is so high up in this area. They're trying to get it higher off of the frame. Like Beta, it's actually up higher than the frame to give you clearance, which is nice, but then they have this issue up with the radiator. And once you put radiator guards on, that's going to be even worse. Little mini extra Kickstarter. Yeah, little 300 two-strokes, awesome though. Oh, there you go, look at this. That must be a tiny little torque. This is really exciting. I actually never thought I'd ever buy a new dirt bike. It's a big investment. Just for fun. What's also interesting on the two-strokes is, what do they call that between the pipe and the muffler? It's like a little rubber flange system.
Yeah, just to seal it, the sealing from the two flanges.
Yeah, as opposed to just having springs, typically like a street bike.
That's it, yeah.
It's just there's not as much exhaust on a two-stroke to be pushing those things apart.
No,
On a 4-stroke, I don't think you could get away with that. It would melt. It runs a lot hotter too. A lot of people are saying, Marcel, get the 350. Get the 350 4-stroke. That fuel injection is perfect. But I'm like, no, we got to try this. We wanted to try the 2-stroke. The new technology, this stuff is like pretty groundbreaking now, and I think this bike's gonna just run awesome, and if it doesn't, we'll make it run awesome. Some people are concerned about, you know, the reliability factors. You take a simple 2-stroke, the whole idea is a simple bike, pull the head, and you're not gonna break down on the trail with your carb. Your carb is always gonna flow fuel pretty much unless it's clogged. And then you throw in this complex TPI system.
You've got fuel pumps, you've got ECUs, sensors, and
Exactly, a fuel pump could fail you. Like, I don't want to be stuck on the middle of a trail, of course, but I have faith. We've been running this stuff on street bikes forever, and they're pretty reliable. What's neat is they have a sticker to tell you their base. The compression is set at 12, rebound is at 12, and air pressure is 9.6 bar, which is probably like 140, 138, I think, pounds air pressure. And you can see right here, guys, there's oil in there right now. And so you can actually see a physical level. I didn't know that too. So you can tell how much oil you have in there. for the oil injection system. And then the injection pump is coming right off of there. Yeah, there's the injection pump. For 2020, they went back to a spark plug that they used before. What is this? The BR7ES. In 19, they used a more expensive plug.
They used to run a BR9EC MVX plug, so they went back to the basic BR7.
Yeah, so a little more affordable and
cheaper.
so I should carry a spare in my pack though, I'm sure, for any two-stroke. Have you seen many warranties? Well, I mean, these bikes are pretty new for you guys in Kelowna here. Has anyone come back?
The most problems we had, well, that side, not this side, was the oil tanks leaking, but that's been sorted out.
But that was the 19, you mean?
That was a 19, yeah.
Okay.
Any other than that, no.
Have you sold any 20s or you built any 20s yet? This is the first?
First one.
All right, I'm the first guys in Kelowna with the XC300. Just as the weather's getting ready to snow soon. Hopefully I'll have plenty of riding before we go to Moab. I believe there's only 30 days warranty with these bikes, so I'll try to stick around while I can. It's so weird that they don't give you much of a warranty. There you go, guys, it's coming together. Just looking around, I noticed there's a plastic cover for a hole in the swing arm. So I just kind of plug it up, and on the street bikes, normally it's underneath here. So these things with those exact air forks, you actually get a pump with it, and oh, look at this. It's a digital one. So yeah, you carry that around your backpack if you want to add air on the trail. Typically, you probably start high and remove air as necessary. So the dealer gets a packing list, sticker set, etc. And then this is the ready to ride. Interesting. I wonder if it's a manual. Oh good, there's an actual manual. Wonderful. Some stickers. Warning, wear a helmet, yes. You have a lot of people come in and change for, like, you know, a Baja Design or a different company just because they want a light. And what's involved with the wiring on the XC to get a light on there? Just be wired directly to the battery with a switch?
You get a wiring loom from KTM that you can put in as well from different models.
Okay.
It comes with it, and then yeah, you can change it up, yeah.
Oh, you mean the loom comes with the bike?
Yep. Yeah, from a different model, and then you can take that.
Oh, like you buy it from the W.
That's it. Put it onto this one.
Otherwise, some of them just wire directly to the battery as well. Like if you get handlebar mount ones, I've seen, and then you just mount up a switch, some LEDs. And of course, if you're running a lot of lights, then you're going to want to change for a high efficiency stator.
Charging system, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to burn the standard one out.
Does KTM sell it, or is it just aftermarket? I want to get this thing for good night rides. So as pretty much everybody knows, the KTMs all come with Brembo master cylinders. So here's the rear Brembo. Steel braided lines, which is nice. Don't have to change those. And then of course the front Brembo master. I think that's a Brembo. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, for sure. It's got a little bit of adjustment with the stock lever. And then of course the Brembo caliper. And if you're getting Husqvarna, then they have the Magura instead brake system. The rotor says KTM Racing patented. Galfer, it's a Galfer front rotor. So how long have you been wrenching on bikes in South Africa before you came here?
So in South Africa, 13 years just on KTMs.
Just on KTMs?
Just on KTMs.
So
yeah, we were only KTM brand, yeah.
Oh, you were the one. Where was the KTM dealer? What town?
It was in Johannesburg.